Hi, friends. I'm Steve Dickman, and we're reporting today an update for what's happening in the Ukraine. It's been a number of months since we've done an update about the Ukraine situation, but we want to bring you some information today about the current needs, what's happening there, and allow you to be a blessing to the people in Ukraine as they are still in this conflict, and there's a lot of turmoil there, and healthcare is in demand, and people are suffering. So today we're going to bring an update about the things that are happening there in the Ukraine. I'm going to start this morning with Victoria from Vahid. Victoria, tell us a little bit about what Vahid is doing and share with us some stories about how people are being impacted by the work you're doing there.
Hi, my name is Victoria Korop, and I'm representing today the organization Vahid. We're a charitable organization based in Poltava. We have been established since 2005, and we provide psychological help for people who suffered and from war in different ways. Our work is in very high demand, and I would like to share a video with you for the people. They will talk themselves, and you will see the premises. You will see what we do, so you have the better idea than I will just explain myself. Let me share this short video with you.
I live in northern South Ivica, the most affected area. There is constant shelling night and day. I lived the opportunity to go. Joy left my life. There is not my house anymore. Bombs, shells, and all these. I lost my sleep and peace. I'm constantly crying. I left occupied Berdansk in the refrigerator after a month of occupation. My mother and the family of my brother still stay there. My brother is in the Ukrainian armed forces. 4 out of 5 of our native men are at the front right now. Because of what was happening inside, I started falling on the street. A missile blew up near the house. No money. I was afraid for my heart. I had to organize a big volunteer center. I have been living and helping there for almost the whole year. It seemed that there were two me's. I was always useful, but coming home I disappeared. I was in something like a cocoon. I couldn't speak. My husband fell ill with oncology, and it was the 4th stage at once. He died. I had been living for 8 months under occupation. We were also volunteering and helping. They started taking us to the basement. My manager was already taken. We have been under constant shelling for a year and a half. We got tired. I underwent 13 surgeries. I didn't walk. I had pressure ulcers. I was a living dead. My son was killed. I no longer know how to live. I gave birth to a child after shelling, who lived 2 hours. We didn't have doctors. We buried the same day my brother and my sister and my daughter. I don't know what is sleep.
How many stories like this has our country experienced? How much pain and woe are Ukrainians experiencing? How many tragedies are there on this earth? But people exhibit extraordinary power and strength in the fight for the future. It doesn't matter whether you're strong or weak, kind or evil, wise or frivolous. If you are in trouble, it is over important to believe there is a way out. Using the knowledge of the Murray method and our 18 years of experience in working with traumatized people together with the USA organization, the Murray method, we developed the program of the therapy of the consequences of war traumas based on the charitable organization, Vahid. Murray method was created to help and support people who experience trauma and abuse. Marilyn Murray from Arizona, the USA, and the author of the theory that explains the mechanism of the way a person experiences a traumatic event. She has helped many people to restore after negative traumatic experiences, including the war. It is a wonderful example of integration of the personal traumatic experience into the theory and practice of effective help to many people.
As a result of her recovery, she acquired the ability to be aware and understand the results of psychological traumas. A high percentage of Ukrainians, both here in Ukraine and those who have immigrated, have numerous mental and emotional health problems. This will be an ongoing issue for many years, even after the war is over.
In Ukraine, private psychologists, NGOs, and state institutions provide psychological assistance for people who suffered because of the war, but it isn't enough. There are a lot of people who need help and rehabilitation.
The charitable organization Vyhitye has 18 years of experience in providing psychological help to individuals who suffered because of traumatic events.
People who lost their close and native people, places of residence, and pets were under occupation, infiltration camps, under missile attacks and aviation shelling, lost their work, and were forcefully displaced come to our center. We also work for volunteers who acquired the syndrome of emotional burnout in their volunteer activities. We also provide psychological support for relatives of soldiers who constantly live in fear and worry about their loved ones.
The specialists of the center have sufficient qualifications and experience, specifically in the sphere of work with different traumas.
Our team consists of 20 people. All of them are motivated to help people. 5 of them are internally displaced persons who know the tragedy of war from the source. The center is situated in the picturesque vicinity of Poltava. The house has 4 floors. The territory of 670 square meters is located on the Vorskla riverbank close to the pine wood. There is a soccer and volleyball fields in the territory, delicious food, psychological classes, physical activity, friendly and warm atmosphere that fills this place help participants of the program to recover emotionally and physically. Our center provides free exclusive help for people affected by the war. After studying the experience of working with people who had difficult special circumstances, we see the need for full immersion in the rehabilitation program after PTSD on full-day stay with accommodation and food in our center. Our center is equipped with everything necessary for the comfortable stay of 25 participants at once. Every month, 2 groups of people complete 2-week rehabilitation, so we cover 50 persons. 500 persons have already completed psychological rehabilitation since the beginning of 2023.
Around 150 people get individual help online or offline, not within inpatient rehabilitation. Every month, around 5,000 new people visit our social media resources, where we post useful information for those who cannot attend our center for one reason or another, or attend individual psychological consultations.
Thanks to sponsors, they could restore their mental health. Everything is super, everything is wonderful, it is just a fairy tale. Everything was just awesome. The main donor of the project is the German organization Humedica. Other partners are the Foundation of Marilyn Murray, Health Restoration International Ltd, Outpost Centers International, and Poltava City Council.
Yeah, probably I will stop on that because the length of the video is too long. The full video can be downloaded and can be seen through the, obviously through the Steves. What I wanted to stress on that we're really looking for sponsors now, because people get tired of this war everywhere, and we found very difficult to find the sponsors. I will share with you the contact details, which you can find on our website as well. And what the main message I would like to deliver today is that the main goal is for us to restore these people who lost their faith, who lost their belief in God, to restore their relationship with the God, and to restore their ability to live and to live a full life. And it's very important that we provide this to our people who suffered a lot in this war. And thank you very much again for all the sponsors who helped us through already 2 years running this program. If you have any questions, please, I would be happy to answer.
Thank you, Victoria, for sharing with us today as we are just getting an update on what's happening there. OCI has been involved in helping to support the center there so that people can receive this counseling and hopefully get back in contact with God and have their life restored to some degree. We're going to go now to Advent Relief. Sharon, you're with us. Tell us a little bit about what Advent Relief is doing in Ukraine and how that's going, and share with us any testimonies you have about people whose lives have been impacted and changed through the work that is being done by Advent Relief there in Ukraine.
Yeah, thanks, Steve. Thanks, Outpost Centers International, for your continued support. Our projects in Ukraine are focused on medical and dental care. We became aware of a huge need for dental care in the rural areas in Ukraine through our collaboration with Doctors Without Borders. Advent Relief became the first foreign NGO to provide free dental care to people. We are doing civilians and military personnel living close to the frontline villages, so within 20 kilometers. Unfortunately, our dental clinic that was in the eastern part of Ukraine in Donetsk, we had to evacuate in October due to increased threat level. And we've now relocated this community-based dental care program to the Mykolaiv region, southeastern Ukraine. Since the beginning of this project, we've seen more than 5,000 patients. So we've treated anywhere from minor dental repair to urgent care. We have two Ukrainian dentists on our staff and a Ukrainian dental assistant. So we're very happy about this project. We have hundreds of people on our waiting list. The reason this is so important is 2 years of COVID, people did not go to the dentist. And then since the invasion, there haven't been dentists in these rural areas. A lot of either they've lost their homes, they've relocated to other countries as refugees, or they've joined the military. So there's an extreme lack of medical personnel in these rural areas of Ukraine. So we have our dental project, and then we also have our medical project. In October, November of last year, we ran a pilot project at what's called an internat. It's like a boarding school orphanage for children. They're all over Ukraine. We went to one in a rural area, had 154 children living in, pretty rough conditions. They had no medical staff there at all, aside from a couple of part-time nurses who had very little training. So we brought in some foreign medical professionals and some foreign and Ukrainian dental team that was working in our mobile dental clinic. And there we were able to treat all 150 kids, give them thorough primary care health exams, and we also fixed all their teeth. While we were there, as I said, they had no medical staff. So we were also helping the kids, with medication, with allergies, with asthma, with coughs and colds, and also even urgent care medical. For example, on the day when one of the foreign organizations brought in hundreds of skateboards and rollerblades for the kids at the orphanage. So on this sunny day, we had 100 kids take to the asphalt playground without helmets, without padding, and tried their skill. So luckily, Advent Relief was there to clean up some of the bruises and the scrapes. It was a great day. We were very touched by these children and just our ability to help them with basic medical care. Our dental clinic, we have a Sprinter, Mercedes Sprinter, that we converted in Ukraine to a mobile dental clinic. And some of these children had never been to the dentist ever. Some of them didn't even have toothbrushes. Our dentists were trying to explain how to brush their teeth, and they're like, we don't have toothbrushes. So we were able to get toothbrushes and toothpaste for all the kids, teach them about dental hygiene. It was really also quite amazing because these kids literally would hug the dentist after he just finished drilling in their teeth, which is unheard of in America. So they really loved our team. We had great people. We did a lot of good there. Although the kids, they don't have parents there. In fact, one of the young men we talked to was 16. It was quite sad. He was telling us that he hadn't heard from his dad in 6 months. His mother was dead, and he didn't know if his dad was captured by Russians. He was in a POW camp, or if he was killed in action. So he was a soldier. So these are the kind of kids that we're helping there. So we had great success with our dental program. I'm going to try and share a short video of Alona Kravchuk. She's our interpreter at the clinic, and she's now our administrative assistant. And she was going to share a little story about a young man who she helped.
My name is Alona Kravchuk. I am Ukrainian. I have 2 kids. I've recently joined the Advent Relief team, and I am very happy to be helpful. And as a mother and as a Ukrainian, I am very grateful for all the help that is provided to Ukrainian people in a very difficult time. This help changes lives, and sometimes, like in a magical way. We've witnessed many stories in an orphanage in Beriski, where the last project took place, and there were many touching stories. I've personally remembered one of the brightest. It was a boy about 7-8 years old, and he had a broken front tooth, and it affected his life very much. He was offended by others because unfortunately kids are like this, and he felt very bad. Because of that, he couldn't have friends. He was very shy. He couldn't feel confident. And Advent Relief team, the dental team, they have taken him on top of the list, and they fixed his tooth. And you cannot even imagine how happy this boy was. He felt much better. It raised his self-esteem. It helped him, of course, to feel more confident. He was smiling. He was smiling the whole day. When the first day his tooth was repaired, he was just going and smiling, showing his teeth, and it was just a miracle. Such a thing that may seem small affects one child's life in a very strong way, in a very positive way. With this help, kids feel that they're loved, they are taken care of, and yes, it influences lives. So I'm very grateful. I am very happy that Ukraine can get such help from the biggest hearts on earth. Thank you very much for that.
So that was Alona sharing her story. And then I have another picture of this young man if you want to see. So there's a guy with his new teeth.
Exciting.
Yeah, it was a really just wonderful little thing. And the last thing I wanted to share was that we have some I have a photo. One of the kids who were at the internat, they don't have parents, but they do have each other. And one of the great things that we saw is that when the children were coming to see the dentist or the doctor, they would often come in pairs with their friends. And so I have another picture I can show you. So these are how the kids would come to the dentist or the doctor. They would come in. One of the girls were getting their blood pressure taken, and they would hold hands. And then we'd have the boys would come in together just as a group. Here, the kids are inside our mobile dental clinic. The one girl's in the chair, and then her friends are each holding one hand while our dentist and the dental assistant are working on their teeth. So it was a great project for us to do. And our future in Ukraine, we'll keep going with our community-based dental, but we'll also continue visiting these internat all over Ukraine so we can help these children living in these orphanage boarding schools. So thanks for caring. Thanks for helping.
Thank you, Sharon, for your work there and for what you're doing to help the people of Ukraine and for the project that Advent Relief has there. We're sure that's been a huge blessing, and the Lord will continue to prosper it. I have Alexi, you're here with us today, and just share with us a little bit about your involvement there and how that you see some of the other ministries that are not able to join us today and the work they're doing.
Thank you, Steve. Yeah, it's good to be with you. I'm OCI Field Vice President for Ukraine, and this war has been going on for 11 years already, and 3 years of full-scale invasion. It brought tremendous change in OCI ministries because normally under normal circumstances they would be serving people in health lines, lifestyle. Improving their health and combating chronic diseases. But things have changed with the war, and like we've just witnessed the ministry of Vehidye, they had been battling with addictions before, but now they are helping people with war trauma. I'm very thankful for all the donors that have helped through OCI, all these ministries. They gave them tools and resources to serve people for 3 years, by this day. But the war has been dragging along. It is exhaustive. Ukraine has no choice to stop this war. It didn't start this war, and as much as it would like to end it, it's not able to. And at this time, to grow weary is to be killed, basically, for Ukrainians. So this said, I would like to share a few pictures here. First is from Bob Top. It's a health food production. And before before the war, they were producing and distributing health food products and running numerous health programs. These are the leaders of this project, Olga and Alexander Lunyov. When the war started, they found themselves on the occupied territory of Russia. So they are on the other side of Ukraine, which is under Russia right now, in Zaporizhia area, in the area of Zaporizhia nuclear power station. And they stayed there. They decided to stay there, although many people evacuated. But they decided to stay there to help the most vulnerable people, elderly, chronically ill people. And they had been producing some soy products like soy links or veggie links and tofu, but they added bread because they found that bread is a staple food in Ukraine, and so they started baking bread. And with the help of donations coming from or through OCI and from OCI, they were able to purchase some equipment. They also do vegetable. They preserve vegetables. You see these jars there. They buy them in season and they preserve them, and then they distribute them to people. So they have a whole team of volunteers throughout south of Ukraine, Kherson area, Mariupol area, Zaporizhia, and they identify those people, the vulnerable people, and they bring them food because these people, they oftentimes they lack essential food. So you can see some pictures there of the recipients of this food. This is a family that came from a distant town, and they load them This is an Adventist family, missionaries, and so they load them with produce, and they go and they distribute to people. And also, as they do that, they prepare a way to their health programs and also evangelistic programs. So surprisingly enough, they are able to run such programs, public programs, and you can see there are quite a few people coming, attending these programs. And so far, they had 44 baptisms. This is the most that any of our institutions have had. So you should understand that, it was very dangerous for pastors to stay there because, the Russian new power, they don't like any Protestants. They impose their state religion, which is Russian Orthodox Church. And so basically all the pastors evacuated. And now more and more pastors from Russia, Adventist pastors from Russia, come to these territories because, Ukrainians couldn't stay there. And for, during these 2 years, there was a vacuum of official church presence there. And so this institution, basically, they helped to run, weekly worship services, and they were basically running church. And so you can see some of the pictures of the baptisms there. As I said, 44 people have been baptized so far, and they are working to baptize even more. And another institution, which is in the central Ukraine, is located in the central Ukraine, is our home Rehab Center. It used to be just a lifestyle center before, which they continue to be, but they've also added the rehabilitation part. And they have a unique niche. They work with wounded veterans of Ukrainian army. So you can see the picture of the team here. And here I have some pictures and some little short videos of the patients for their rehabilitation program. They have been able to serve 210 people so far, thanks to the donations. Because oftentimes, when these people get injured, the government, the state, pays for the acute phase of their recovery, but not rehabilitation or partially rehabilitation. And so there is a need to help these people in restoring their health. Sometimes they come with their spouses, like you can see on this picture, and they receive physical help, physical rehabilitation, but also psychological and also spiritual rehabilitation, because oftentimes these people have never had an opportunity to speak with somebody about Jesus and about hope for eternity. And I remember one patient in particular, his name was Valery. He came to the center in the end of a previous program, and so he found himself at the graduation meeting, and he heard others being grateful and expressing their gratitude to the personnel there. And he kind of just got there, and he didn't understand fully what was going on, and he decided to speak, and he was very negative about his situation. He had stepped on a landmine, and he lost part of his foot and his toes, and so he had to use crutches to move around. And so he was very negative, and everybody's betraying Ukraine, and then he stayed for the 10-day session, and he was able to move from crutches to a stick, to a cane, and then they bid him to let his cane go and to walk around. And though limping, he could walk on his own. But then toward the end of the session, a tremendous change helped to him spiritually, and he approached the reception desk and he said, I decided to quit watching news because it made me very negative. And instead, I decided to read the Bible. And so that was a big change for him. And he left very positive, reading the Bible. He started Bible study course, online Bible study course. And then the leader of this institution, Dr. Anna Slepenchuk, met his former commander, army commander, and he said that they couldn't recognize this man, although he could not be drafted back in the military because of this injury, but they stay in contact. And they met in a town council where they live in Vinnytsia area. And so everybody witnessed tremendous change with him. You know, he's very positive. He's trying to help other veterans. He's trying to push the city council not only to send veterans for rehabilitation to this institution, but also to find some resources to help them, to sponsor them there. And so it's been a tremendous change. As you can see some pictures of the groups veterans who come there. You can see that some are using wheelchairs, some are using crutches. So it's a tremendous work, and it's a unique niche for our institution to fill.
Thank you, Alexi. That's an amazing report. And as you think about this, we know that the conflict continues. What are the needs there in Ukraine? Just kind of encapsulate that in a sentence or two for our viewers today.
Yeah, the need is to continue support because our OCI institutions, they look for vulnerable people who do not receive any government support, like elderly, like you've seen the orphan children, then mentally challenged people because of the war, mental trauma, and physical trauma for veterans. So you can pray for them, and you can also make donations through OCI to help sponsor these people in this institution and continue the teams to provide this vital help to these vulnerable people.
Thank you, Alexi. I want to say thank you to Victoria from Vahid for sharing the ministry there and what's happening, and to Sharon for talking about Advent Relief. Thank you, Alexi, for your update on Bob Top and also Our Home. All vital ministries helping the people there in Ukraine during this very extremely urgent time for them. This, even if the war were to end today, the needs here will not go away right away. There will be many months, possibly even years of recovery time. So we're just inviting you to continue to support the work in Ukraine. You can go to our Outpost Centers International website, outpostcenters.org. You can be a part of supporting the work there in Ukraine of helping people who can't help themselves right now. I appreciate that Alexi mentioned most of these people that we're helping through our ministries there are the vulnerable population on the frontline areas. They haven't been able to evacuate, or their children, or they're elderly, or they just have extreme challenges because of the trauma they've experienced. So friends, may each of us join together to do something to help the work in Ukraine right now. God bless you. Share this video with other people and help us to continue to support the work that's happening there in Ukraine. May God bless you.